This October, after 2 years of implementation, St. Marien Hospital in Siegen opened its completely renovated intensive care unit. With the latest technology and a special layout concept for the rooms, project leaders have created optimal care possibilities for intensive care patients. The new concept should enable us to provide patients with more individualized care. We have 9 single rooms out of the 15 beds on this ward. The other 6 beds are in double rooms. To this end, we have tried to keep the floor of this room completely free except for the casters of the patient's bed. There is a modular system. Everything comes from the ceiling. The ventilator is also suspended, as are the monitors. They're touchscreens. We want our employees to experience digitalization as a relief. Digitalization only works if employees help support it in their daily work, and it supports the employees, with good haptics, with an interface that enables automatic work. The rooms are identically equipped, also with daylight simulation, which is intended to help people who have been unconscious for a long time to find their way back to a normal daily rhythm. One innovation especially contributes to a particularly tidy and hygienic initial situation on the ward, the airlocks in front of each room, which can provide both negative pressure and positive pressure. Pathogens can thus not get outside. We decided to build an airlock in front of each room. There is a sink where there is a possibility to isolate the patients and thus to dispense with the classic nursing workroom. This is a completely new concept. And it has to be said, we planned and implemented in the middle of the corona pandemic. That the corona pandemic also had a positive effect on this planning. Because otherwise this implementation would probably not have been carried out in this way. What I particularly like is that the rooms are now somewhat more in the center, and from our care center, one can act in both directions. All participants manage the planning and implementation as a team. It was super important to me that we were involved in the planning right from the start. I was there at every project meeting to really say, what do we find practicable, and what is maybe not so good now? We managed the whole thing virtually by setting up virtual teams. This is now common practice. This means that every member of the project group was able to see everything at any time of the day. Of course, we first sat down together and thought about it. How can this actually work? On October 4th, 2021, we moved with the patients from the old intensive care unit into the areas that had yet to be created and were then completed. A week later, the bulldozers and the excavators arrived and then actually only left the foundation stones standing. Of course, we were also very lucky that we had a general contractor who helped carry the whole thing. A construction period of 1 year for these structures is already gigantic. Patients are not the only ones to benefit from the renovation. To some extent, I just hope for employee satisfaction. The whole thing was very old, very outdated. Some of the rooms were dark, unfriendly. The whole place has been brightened up now. And of course, I'm also hoping maybe that 1 or 2 people will say, oh, fancy new intensive care unit, I'll just apply, and that my team will get even bigger. So we have tried to bring together small components with this basic idea that everyone who comes to this ward, whether as an employee or in a managerial function, or as a ward assistant, as a relative, as a patient, they have to be met with their respective needs and, if possible, supported by the technology and the design in such a way that every day becomes the ideal or most ideal day possible for them on this ward.